What is going on, guys? I'm Chris and this is Houseplant Therapy. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Begonia Maculata, also known as the polka dot begonia, and why your plant is losing leaves. This is very common for this houseplant, and I want to help you get to the bottom of this problem because it really sucks to kind of like start losing your houseplants. It's really frustrating. But please take a second to subscribe to the channel. As you can see, I love myself some houseplants. I'm always geeking out with crazy projects, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribed. It means nothing to you and a lot to me. What am I even talking about? Let's get into it. So, the Begonia Maculata, or the polka dot begonia plant, is losing leaves, probably the #1 reason due to inadequate lighting. This plant prefers medium to high indirect lighting, and there's kind of no way around it. A lot of plants, like the pothos plant, can get away with low indirect lighting, but this plant absolutely kind of needs that medium to high indirect lighting. So my advice would be to move this plant to a higher lighting area in your household. Hopefully this is the issue. A lot of times what happens is you'll start to lose leaves, and what happens is the plant is losing leaves to kind of absorb the nutrients and energy to put forth to essentially keep this plant alive. The second reason that your plant is losing leaves is because you're improperly watering this plant. This is super common with houseplants. What happens is you're overwatering the plant, and a lot of times what can happen is your plant to begin with isn't getting enough lighting. So what happens is the soil doesn't completely dry out. So then in turn, when you go to water it again, it's still wet. And this is a problem with the roots, because what happens is it's called root rot, where the roots start to essentially rot in a fungus-like matter. And it's devastating to houseplants. I would say like 90% of houseplants in the hobby die to this. So first, for starters, what you're gonna wanna do is to try to get your plant into some higher lighting. Medium to indirect lighting, 5 to 8 hours a day. This plant absolutely loves that high lighting. Not direct light. We don't want direct sunlight because that'll melt this thing like crazy. And then once you've placed this plant in some higher lighting, do not water it. Maybe give it a couple weeks to completely dry out and to kind of witness what the plant is going to do. It's either going to come back, you'll start to see some new leaves, or else something else is wrong with it and it's going to continue to die. If it continues to die, chances are we have something wrong in the soil. What you're gonna wanna do is probably take the entire plant out of the pot. Hopefully it's in a nursery pot, not a ceramic pot like this, because it'll be easier, in a nursery plastic pot. Take a look at the root structure, see if it's like kind of wet and fungusy and just moist. If it is, the plant is probably not going to do very well. And what you're gonna wanna do is possibly look into propagating what you have left. That means essentially just start cutting all the stems and replanting and propagating. Give that plant a second chance at life, because chances are the whole like soil setup and the root structure is probably dead or on its way too. But yeah, hopefully that helps answer your issues with this plant losing leaves. The Begonia Maculata is a beautiful, beautiful plant. This is one of my favorite houseplants in our house. And I'm sorry that this is going bad for you, but with these tips and tricks, hopefully this helps you. You can always cut it and propagate it, so don't get down on yourself. And if the plant's too far south, don't beat yourself up, because this does happen to us. We have killed this plant before. And humidity is also a big deal. And a lot of times, you can't create humidity in your house without using a humidifier. A lot of people also have that issue. So without further ado though, guys, hopefully this video helped you learn why your Begonia Maculata is losing leaves. Hit me up in the comment section. I try to reply to all the comments. It's kind of late here right now, and I'm just I think me and my girlfriend are gonna go out for a drink or something. So hit me up in the comments, tell me what's up. I love hearing from you guys, that's why I do these videos. Subscribe to the channel too. If you guys like houseplants and just craziness like this, please subscribe.